Hi, hello everyone. So, good. I guess it's evening now, and yeah, we're going to finish our FreeCodeCamp responsive web design. Like finally, after 2 weeks, I don't do it, and we're gonna do it again. And this is our last video, probably about responsive web design. So, let's go. Hi. Alright, so here we go. Going to learn with CSS Grid. I think the CSS Flexbox, I skipped that because I actually record the video, but the quality is just like the worst out of all, and I kind of forcing myself to do it. So yeah, alright, so let's go. Create your first CSS grid. I think this is being too loud. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, so here, create any HTML element into a grid container by setting its display property to grid. Right, so the way that we can change this to something is to, the way that we can use CSS Grid is to change our display to grid. Like the flex block before, we change the display to flex. So yeah, let's go. So turn any HTML element to grid container by setting its display to grid. This gives you the ability to choose all the properties associated with CSS Grid. So this container in here, we're going to change the display this to grid. It's a grid, not grid. Right. Next. Oh, not bad. Wait. Alright. So next. Simply create a grid element doesn't get you very far, right? You need to define the structure of the grid as well. To add some columns of the grid, so grid in CSS is like the way you use two dimensions of column, I guess. In a flexbox that you can only change this to column or row, but in grid you can change its column and its row. So it gives you more powerful way to use CSS to creating your structure. Or wait, I kind of forget. Layout of your design. Actually, Prism Live has some effects, but I can't use that, so I need beautify. The music just like muted. Alright, next. So, to add some columns to grid, use the grid template columns property on the grid container is demonstrated below. So you use like container to display the grid and get its columns to 50. I want to know how to change our stuff. Do we'll change this to, wait, I need empty its column. Like that will change, like when we are inputting something or inputting several units to here, what does this change? I mean, our height and margins or what? Just imagine like I set this to 100%. I usually just like use percents because they will be. Oh, is this the width? And if I pixels to like what? Maybe just change this for 50 pixels. To be honest, this doesn't make any sense. And why does we have 4 in here? I don't understand. Like literally nothing. Alright, so the grid CSS property defines the line names and correct sizing function of the grid columns. So if you get this, to find the line names. We get like 60 pixels, right? So we get this template columns, line name. What is line names things? Indicate that there are no explicit grid. Any columns will implicitly generated if their size will be determined by grid column property. So 50 pixels. I don't understand. Right. This will give you a grid 2 columns that are each 50. Ah, so this is like two grid columns? Two grid columns. Two grid 2. Your grid 2 columns. Your grid 2 columns. I guess didn't really understand English. Effects. Yes. So our first column like 15 and the one is also 50. Like what is it change this to 60? That's probably model obvious. So it becomes 60. What if I add another 60 pixels in here? They change like that. Now there's 60 pixels here. They became like this. What? I don't understand the thing. This will give you a grid 2 columns that are each the number of the parameter of the grid template's column property indicates the number of columns in the grid. The number of columns in the grid. The number of columns. So if I add like 1, don't have like a 1 grid. And it had 60 pixels wide. So so this is like our first column width. How to change our height though? Like 100 pixels. Just go like that. And how do I like define where they will split? I don't understand that. Like how do you know that I have to split this and I have to split that? You know, because they're splitting something, right? Oh, it's linear, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you add something, there will be 6, just like this. 26. Day 6. Yes. I didn't say the color. My bad. So what are we gonna do? And you know, we're gonna selecting something in here, and we're gonna change our color to pale white. I don't know. To pink, yellow, orange, green. Alright, that's it. That's cute too. So yeah, there are pixels in here, and if we change this to 40 pixels, imagine that will be happen. It will be 4, and that will be way large. And whatever I want to change their height, it's probably not grid template columns, because that will be grid template row. So let's try to change that. Grid template row. Oh, it exists? Probably 3 pixels. Doesn't change anything. %. Yep. But it doesn't change. I don't know why. but it doesn't get changed. That's probably not the syntax, not the right syntax. But that's not the point, right? At least we understand their columns. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm sorry. All right, let's go to container each. Get the grid 3 column that is each. All right, so we're gonna setting this grid each column to 100, and that will be probably. Oh, I'm not wrong. Yep, that's gonna still pass. And anyway, I did not create my testing to my React application. I want to know how to create testing in my CSS applications because I didn't know yet how to do that. But how to create testing in CSS? I don't know. Is that testing even exist? I don't know. But debug exists. So let's next. The grid that you created in last challenge will set the number of rows automatically. So we need more S. I don't really think that we said the S before. That's why the syntax is not right. Alright, but property same. Okay, so they will like setting our. This is our columns and our grid. Right. I hate my friends. Same. Create templates. Okay, I hate men. Alright, so we need like, because we have like 2 rows right here, right? So we create like pixels for each. Okay, so what if like we're creating another 40 pixels in here? They will add another thing, but there's no. Okay. Understandable. I mean, I really want to have money and donate to the FreeCodeCamp because they're doing an amazing job. I can land my first job soon so that I can donate to all of these people that deserve donations because they are freaking amazing. Next. So you can use an absolute and relative units like pixels and how do you say this AM and CSS Grid to define the size of rows and column. You can use these as well. Off error. So it's how to pronounce this, guys? Pronunciation. What is it? French. FR. Set a column in or row to fractions. It's fractions. What is a fraction? I don't even know what fraction means in English. So let's try to understand what a fraction is. A numerical quantity that's not a whole number. It's like floating number? That is fractions. I just know that I'm not. So that is a fraction. Okay, after available space. Set the column or row. or to be width or height of its content node. Adjust the column of row to present with its container. Oh, that is a lot. This snippet creates 5 columns. The first column is wide at its content, and the second column is 50 pixels, and the third column, you can see this like here. See it. This is the auto, this is the 50 pixels that you can create everything that you want. Alright, so make a grid 3 columns. Wait, make a grid of 3 columns whose width are follows. Okay, that is not hard. Just copy paste. And actually we don't need comments between them, which is so convenient and awesome. You are doing great. Alright, next. What do we got next? So far the grids that you have created, the columns have been tied and up against each other. Sometimes you want to get between the columns. Oh, I'm so sorry. Alright, I just get distracted. So for the grids you have created, the columns have been tied up against each other. Sometimes you want to gap between the columns. Okay, to gap between the columns, use the grid columns. So if you want to create column gaps, you can use this. So it's not, oh, grid column gap, grab, what is grab? I don't want to create a grid. This is really convenient to create, a card. If you have like a lot of card, you can just use grid in CSS, right? So grid pixels, min height, width, awesome. So yep. We need like 20 of them to be smaller. Sort of like creating margin. You can keep me focused. Sorry guys. You're like okay. Next, grid gap is a shorthand property for grid row gap. Grid gap is a shorthand property for grid row gap. And grid column from gap for the grids challenge and more convenient to use. Grid gap has one value. It will create a gap all rows and columns. However, if there are 2 values, the first one is the gap between the rows and the second value of the columns. So like if you want to create all the same gap to all of your same column, you can use this grid gap. Right? 10 pixels for rows. However, if the value will first want to get rid of the rows and the second for the columns. So it's right, technically. And it can be set to another part. And wait, all right. So my friends, she's so pretty. Alright. I'm so sorry, just get another distractions. I will not get rid of that. Yeah, wait. I'll probably setting up my camera first. Can we to lowercase? Okay, so what do we do next? Up to this point, all the properties that have been discussed are for grid containers. The grid color property is the first one to use to write it himself. The hypothetical horizontal and vertical lines that create a grid are referred to as lines. Okay. These lines are numbers starting 1 to the left corner and the grid move to the right columns. So this is like 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, like. Okay. So what are we trying to create with this? These lines are numbers starting with 1 to corner. This is what lines look like with 3. Good, okay. To control the number of columns an item you'll consume. I'm sorry for running. My monitor is like large and I'm trying to be like this stuff. Because I cannot see. And in order to create so to control the grid columns item will consume, you can use the grid column property to stop line numbering at the start and stop it. Oh, so the grid columns can start with 3. Oh. Okay. So you're trying to limiting the grid itself. The grid content itself, so it's not depending with this. Wait, I will try to change that. So the column is like 3. Okay, what if I set this to 2? They're not stopping to 2. 1. Dude, they're literally not changing. Why does it need item 5? This will make items done in first vertical line is the grid. But I don't understand. So you're trying to create this. What do I say? Get through. Eh? Ah, yes, this is the column. Oh my god. Ah, so you're not setting them. So, okay. So this grid column property will change like how large it was and not depending on the, and not depending on this. Because you can set this in start when and stop when. Like a little. Stop at 3. There's 1, 2. Right and right. 1 here. 3 should be there, here, right? This should be 4. I don't understand it sometimes. 3 and stop at 3 too. They're not changing anything. What? It's a 2. Why are they not merging to the bottom? What? It should be 4. do not look many grids in here. Right, let's take a look. The last column of the grid. This has 5. The last column of the grid, what? So there's like first line, second line, third line, like that. Because these people are probably the one who feel like that all the time. You must be careful, guys. Alright, I'm still trying to understand what it means of this. Okay, so we get like up to this point, not perfect. Okay. So we get like the first columns here. So this is like our first. So this is the first, second, third, fourth, 5 and 6. Is it true like that? So it's probably 4 to 6, right? Because like the last 2 of the grid is 5 and 6. The last column of the grid. 4. What? Plans should have a grid column property which results in containing the last 2 columns of the grid. It's 1. Wait. Like 1, 2, 3 should be here, right? How's the logic? I don't understand. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god. So the last 2 is 2 to 4. Then I feel like my brain's okay, so this is like the first, second, and third. I'm so through and like what if I said this the first until the third? That's interesting. Okay, I'm a little bit understand now. Kid, I'm gonna smash your ass. Okay, of course you can make the item consume multiple rows just like you want the columns. You need to find the horizontal lines and you want item start and stop using grid row. Alright. And the last of 2 rows. Okay, so grid rows. And the last 2 columns, like this is the first 2. Yeah, it's probably almost the same. CSS Grid, the content of each item is located in the box, which is referred to as a cell. You can align the content's position within itself horizontally using the adjustable cell. You can align the content positions within the cell horizontally. What is align horizontally means? Align horizontally. So like align it to horizontally. Oh, so align horizontally, like the same as the horizontal, like the same as vertical. So it's the same. Alright. By default, image property has a value of stretch, will make your content fill the whole width of the cells. Alright. So start, align content, left, to the right, center, cells, and align the content to the right cell. So just take one cell. justify self, right? We set this to center. Just as you can align item horizontally, there's a way to align item vertically as well. To do this, align self. So the first one is justify self, and the second one is align self. Item to aligning items, like 3 in here. So we're selecting item 3 and then it's only been like 30 minutes since oh my bad. Oh, I was shocked. We set our align self to end, so they will be in. Oh yeah, it's like a person start, right? If you're trying to create that as a, you know, justify self. Okay, so put this justify self, and center they'll be in center positions, so like label small things. Sometimes you go to all items in your CSS Grid to show the same alignment. You can use previously learned operations to align items individually. You can align them at once or suddenly justify items in a grid container. This property can accept all the same values we learned about in the previous two challenge. The difference being that it will move all the items in the grid in desired alignment. Okay. Anyway, just like see myself, and I would sell orange in here. So yeah, I'm sorry everyone. Did I still I look more orange right now. What do I do? I think just like gonna break this in. Oh no! Wait a minute. I'm being so clumsy again. You guys can see that. Wait. Alright, we're here again, boys. I'm gonna do that again. I don't really care if like my hands are, you know. Oh my god, it's so. Oh my god, that's bad. Look at the difference of here and here. I can take it no more. Also this. I really need some treatment, so it can make things bad, you know. And in my face too, but you guys say that only because it's according to the real dude. I need to focus. Sometimes you want all the items or justify items. Use the center to all items or something. So the first one is justify contents, and you can justify items. You can group cells you want to group together into an area and get the area custom name by grid template like this. Oh, so you're trying to. The grid above groups the cell of the grid into 4 areas: header, advert, content, and footer. Different word representing all the 4 pairs question marks represent a row. Let's represent a row. Change the template so the footer are spans in the entire bottom row. Defining area won't have any visual effect right now, later in the item area to see how it works. So you set the footer to everyone. Alright. After creating every template in grid container as shown in previous challenge, you can place item in your custom area by reference the name you gave it. To do this, use grid area. After creating the area templates for grid container as shown in previous challenge, you can place an item in your custom area by referring the name you gave to it. So you item first, the grid area, and you set them together. That's interesting. So you can grouping them right now. Yeah, that's what it said. You guys can see my phone? Yes, you do. Getting distracted again. Oh my god. I'm getting caught. Okay, let's go. So if you header, let's find a grid item first. If you name a header, let's paste the area and footer. So we got this like footer 5 and we get the grid area. Right. Grid area to footer. They'll fully. It's really interesting. Wait, everyone, I smell something really weird in here. I will change first. Right, welcome everyone. I am back. So let's do this. So first horizontal line to start, vertical line to start. So this is our first line. Totally starting here. And horizontal line to end. Okay. Let's try to do that. So if I'm trying to place the item 5, so like the first to here. Item 5, right? So what? It's only like the third area, not the overall things. Oh. No, we aren't trying to do that. We're only trying to set this, so this is like in a second. And we'll end. And this is horizontal line. Horizontal. Yes. Right in first. And we'll end in first too. And no. This is. They will start not in the first line, but at the second line. Oh my god, wait, this is not convenient, bro. Like, they're trying to do this. Why are you not grouping the first and the last two for the horizontal and verticals? But whatever it is. Okay, that's not what I want. So, okay. So, placement of the item flies class between the third and the fourth horizontal line. So, the horizontal line between the third and the fourth. And vertical lines first. Huh? When did I did it wrong? So this is the start to the third. 1, 2, 3, correct, until the fourth, correct, and the first 1, 2, 3, 4. I hate this. What's wrong with this part? Why did yes. I forgot it. The semicolon. When you use the grid template columns and the grid template rows to define structure of a grid, you enter a value each row column you created. Let's say you want a grid. Let's say you want to grid on the same height. Even for vertical insert value individually, fortunately there's a better way. Repeat. But there is a way. Oh, so if you want to create like lots of columns, like 100 columns. Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. Repeat to remove revision group. So yeah, create template columns. We set this to repeat. Wait. Don't. This column repeat to the third. With when tall. So this is true. This one is not true. I'm not doing it wrong. Look at third with one of air. What's wrong with it? No, I literally don't understand. So let's try to compare this. Because probably there's this. Create template columns. Dude, they're exactly the same. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's another. There is another built-in function to use grid templates column in grid template rows called minmax. It's used to limit the size of item when the grid container change size. Wait, we're going to have a break like for 10 minutes? Right, even though I got distracted from the first time, but let's just have a break for 10 minutes. Actually, we're almost done in CSS Grid. We need to like it's like 5, and we got 5 projects coming up. So yeah, let's go. Right, let's focus again. There's another built-in function to use grid templates called min grid templates row called minmax. So I'm trying to remember what grid template comes. If you're setting the same, no, that is not grid. You are setting each row and I don't remember what. It used to limit the size. Oh, I think it's being too loud again. Function grid template columns, call it min-max to limit the size of item to go into change file. Okay, so your particular template columns will be this, but they will change. What? It's used to limit size of items within the grid container. They're not changing anything. That's but they're not changing anything though. They're not changing anything. You're like, seriously. They're setting the repeated columns. Okay. Repeated columns. Like this. Pixels. And okay, that can make sense. The repeated function comes with an option called autofills. This allows you to automatically insert as many rows as columns if you desired. So there is a function comes with an option called autofill. This allows you to automatically insert as many rows and columns of desired size as possible depending on the size of the container. Okay. I think that would be easier to me to learn in Indonesian, not in English. I like to think in English, and so it is hard. Alright. I'm sorry, people. Okay, so the repeat function comes with an option called autofills. I just get distracted like every 10 minutes. The repeat function comes with an option called autofill. This allows you to automatically insert as many rows and columns of your desired size and as possible depending on the size of the container. You can create flexible layouts when combining autofills with minmax. So autofill, so like repeating. Oh, so you don't need to repeat this size, but it depends on your container in your, your thingy right here. With autofill. Autofill. They were still repeated to 3. 16. So you got 4, you got 3 here. I'm sorry, but they will set this as they go. Okay. Why doesn't play with that's Autofill works almost identical to autofilled. The only difference is that when container size exceeds the size of the item combined, autofill keeps inserting empty rows and columns and push the item to the side, while autofit collapse this empty rows and columns to stretch your item to fit size of container. I'll probably try to do that because I will not understand these explanations. They will fitting this and still fitting to their layout. This is a little expensive. And they look like something like that. Interesting. Because they have like minimum value if I'm not mistaken. So container 2, break into columns and repeat to autofit 2. Autofit. We're almost done, people, to our grid. CSS Grid can be an easy way to make your site more responsive by using media queries to rearrange grid areas. Change the dimension of the grid and rearrange the placement of items. In the preview, when the viewport width of 300 pixels or more, the number of columns changes from 1 to 2. The advertisement area. Actually, I hate Alright, so the viewport width 40 pixels. So this is the media query. Alright, so this is getting easier to make your site more responsive. In this preview, when the viewport width is 30 pixels or more, the number of column change from 1 to 2. When the viewport with 40 pixels or more, make the header are occupied to the top row completely. So there's no end here. That is interesting. Turning element into grid only affects the behavior of its direct descendants. So by turning direct descendants into grid, you have a grid within a grid. This is way complex than I thought. Grid, win grid, win grid. I'll probably finish this right now and our project in the upcoming, upcoming live stream, probably this night after example, by setting to display in grid template columns. Grid template columns property of an element with the item 3 class. Item 3 class. You create a grid within your grid. What? Item 3. So the container is grid, and this item 3, which consists of group 150, will be a grid too. Alright, turning on grid into grid with display. So first we create a display grid in grid template column. To right, we are finished, and now we're going to create our tribute page. It looks like this, but I probably do that after Tarih. Yeah, I don't know what it's called in English. So after Tarawih, and we're going to create this 5 things. Dr. Norman. So to note this, just trying to inspect its element. And you'll see, guys, everything in here. That is what I want to say to all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and bye!